Hello everybody and welcome back to Marvel Avengers Alliance here on G for G. Today's video, as you can see by the topic, is going to be one of the new videos in the Dirty Tricks series. As you may remember from some older videos on the channel, the Dirty Tricks video comes up with some interesting situations, team-ups, ISO usage to create fun, innovative, intelligent, and potentially douchey styles of play. Mind you, these are never about cheating or exploits. So in this video, we are revisiting the topic of follow-ups and counters. Now, most of these teams are going to be circling around Spider-Man Noir, but they're going to feature some different people for him that you may not necessarily think about or have run into before. Now, before we start, we all know that Spider-Man Noir is really good with follow-up and counter teams. Him, Union Jack, Hogun, they all like to work with counter people. Now, everybody knows that we've seen him in the last several seasons of PvP, most often featured with Rocket Raccoon. It varies as to whether it is Movie Coon, Original Blaster Coon, whether the Movie Coon is Generalist or Blaster. Obviously that varies, but he's often paired up with Rocket Raccoon. Secondary to that is Union Jack. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. Rocket Raccoon, of course, brings a blaster, which means he sits maybe as a blaster, bringing blaster bonus. Union Jack is single target, but a little bit more powerful single target than Rocket. Rocket is big on AoE. Recently, Rocket has gotten very douchey because of the fact that there is that irradiated ISO that Rocket uses to apply the internal bleeding style gamma radiation poisoning. And he also can shut down tech in his counters. Now, the reason why Spider-Man Noir works so well with Rocket Raccoon is because Spider-Man Noir is allowed to hit any target that was hit by the follow-up or the counter. So when Rocket sprays down the entire team with his level 1 counter, Spider-Man Noir is allowed to follow up on each of the targets hit. This also works with agent gear like the Executioner, the Deathly Freeze Ray, etc. Well, something nobody really ever does is team him up with somebody like Star-Lord. Star-Lord also has an AoE follow-up encounter. As you can see here, Spider-Man Noir is following up on everybody that was hit by Star-Lord. Also, when you are using the Strengthened and BFF combo, you can initiate Star-Lord and Spider-Man Noir in a little bit of a harder manner than just relying on follow-ups and counters. Of course, Strengthen and the BFF, as we know, tends to pull out attacks from teammates, kind of like the Berserking ISO from Sif or the Blind Justice. Now, unfortunately in this case, basically Spider-Man Noir followed up on Star-Lord, but did not follow up on the agent's attack. You could tell because Spider-Man Noir's attack was different. When he follows up on his own, he follows up with his level 1, which gives us flanked for free. When he adds to people's follow-ups, he does a different attack. So Beat It is when he's following up on somebody else. If he's following up via himself, he does a level 1. So you can see how well this team works out. Of course, with Star-Lord, you can continue to provoke Spider-Man Noir into following up because you can give him the hair trigger ISO. When you give him the hair trigger ISO, you are forcing Star-Lord to add spray and pray to all of his attacks, except for a few on the level 9. Now, friendly out, there is a bug right now with the lightning strike. There it goes. See Spider-Man Noir, you see that dodge that happened? Look at Spider-Man Noir. No Strengthened and no Storm Herald. For some reason, because the Lightning Strike causes damage, but it's flagged as 0, apparently dodge rules apply, and your own team can dodge the usage of that. Guys, this is not Scarlet Witch's Storm Shield, or Chaos Shield. There is no reason for my team to dodge a buff. And that needs to be fixed, and I'm going to open up a ticket on that. So, I'm going to hit Sin with a stealthy attack so that I can walk around the power armor. I follow up with the spray and pray, and Spider-Man Noir is at it. He's hitting everybody hit by the AoE. So you can see how well this team works. Would I recommend this for defense? Maybe not. It's a little tough. It's great for offense. And, interestingly enough, there is a very good defensive version of this team. And I'm going to show it to you. It's a simple matter of just changing Star-Lord slightly. I'm going to sort by tacticians. We're going to go over to Star-Lord. Here he is. So, how can you run Spider-Man Noir and Star-Lord on defense? Use the movie suit. Give him the covert ISO. Give him the hair trigger ISO. And shit will be crazy. Why will it be crazy? Because at level 15, he will initiate combat reflexes. So anytime he's attacked, he's going to counter with spray and pray. And anytime he does single target gun attacks, he's going to add spray and pray. All of which may instigate Spider-Man Noir to do those crazy follow-ups. The good thing is, you don't necessarily have to change things around if you're already running attack-based armory and heroes. You just fix up Star-Lord. And you keep your high attack armory and high attack heroes in place. Now here's another team up that people don't think about using with Spider-Man Noir. We saw lots of Spitfire in PvP Season 27, often teamed up with Star-Lord. The team was known as Spitlord. It was even in a Kingfisher video. It was in a Kingfisher video where he beat my defensive team with that team. Quicksilver has some of the benefits of Rocket Raccoon, some weaknesses, but some additional benefits that Rocket doesn't have. So you might sit here and say, well, Napalm, the reason why people don't use Quicksilver with Spider-Man Noir is because of the melee. Yes, that's definitely a con for Quicksilver, but Quicksilver brings that attempt to be first in combat that only Spitfire can bring to the table other than Quicksilver. So this means that he might initiate better than Rocket Raccoon because he can almost guarantee the turn order. Now, if you are thinking of applying this team for defense, I highly recommend you only use Bisquick. Scrapper, Blue Suit, Quicksilver. Bisquick. The reason being is a level 15 Quicksilver will turn on Scrapper benefits, close quarters combat, and if he does single target a member of the enemy team, he's going to automatically have a follow-up. He can also be equipped with the ISO that says he's immune to Winded, and he builds, of course, attacker stacks by doing follow-ups. Very, very nice combo. So here, yes, okay. That was both good and bad. Quicksilver followed up on my agent with AoE. Unfortunately, Spider-Man Noir did not follow up on Quicksilver. He just followed up on himself. In other words, he just followed the agent and didn't follow up on Quicksilver. But the power armor is now flanked for free. There goes Tag Team. Again, Spider-Man Noir is unfortunately not doing anything. But he has the potential to hit everybody that Quicksilver has hit. Hopefully we'll see it here. So we're going to get an AoE follow-up because he's flanked. If he doesn't die. There we go. Spider-Man Noir is following up on the people that Quicksilver AoE'd. That's why this team works. And it works on tons of levels. The reason why it works is that there is a lot of ISO options for Quicksilver. Now, if you're doing this on offense, you can run any version of Quicksilver that you want. If you're running it on defense, I still think it's best to run the Scrapper version because the AI will handle it better. But you don't necessarily have to run it with the Scrapper ISO. The Scrapper ISO for Bisquick would be phenomenal because you're going to build lots of stacks. Quicksilver is going to get more and more powerful as long as he lives. End of story. But you can also farm for his personal ISO that says counters do not consume quickness. That means he will never get weak. He will always be able to keep his quickness stacks. And that enables him to constantly counter if he's hit and constantly have that increased attack and accuracy. So there is some play in how Quicksilver works. Now what you saw there is Quicksilver followed up on my agent and Spider-Man Noir followed up on my agent. We did get to see Spider-Man Noir follow up on one of Quicksilver's AoE. So that's something for you guys to think about. Right now at this point in the video, you won't notice it, but I have to pause because my next person for the team up is currently training. And I didn't want to wait to do the first part. I wanted to get it out of the way and recorded. And I will be pausing here. We will be coming back for the second half of the video with the last team up. Hi everybody, and welcome back. So we're going to drop into the simulator for the last team up for this video. Now that our next star has been done training. And as you can see, it features our new hero du jour, or reformed criminal, Kraven. My agent's gear has changed, and you will see what the changes are once we drop into combat. Obviously, he's holding the Devourer in his hand. So the power armor starts by smashing my agent, who responds with the pneumatic nailer. Spider-Man Noir joins in on it because it's a counter. So at this point, Spider-Man Noir is actually just going to flank the power armor. And we'll leave it at that. The pneumatic nailer counters. Nobody joins in on it. So, Kraven the Hunter has a passive that says, The Hunter reduces damage from attackers with poison and bleeding effects. Preemptively counters bleeding enemies. That's the big key here. And he also follows up on single target attacks with poisoned enemies. So, now obviously the power armor is mechanical. It can't be afflicted with bleeding or poison. But that won't be the case in PvP. Kraven is essentially a scraptician. If he can poison somebody, he acts as a scrapper. A tact wrapper doesn't sound right, so I like scraptician better. The entire enemy team that can be bleeding is now bleeding. So that's going to set up Kraven in just a moment. My agent is now going to rest. Sin is going to attempt to attack Kraven the Hunter, pre-counters, and then perfectly we see Spider-Man Noir joins in on every single person hit by the pre-counter. That is because the pre-counter is AoE. What's also nifty about it is the fact is that the pre-counter creates disoriented on the enemy team. So Sin could have tried to attack and then hit the power armor in return, which did happen the first time I recorded this, but there were some audio issues, so I'm doing it again. Now, the Hydra Vanguard is stealthy right now, so Kraven can't detect it. So you can see how Kraven is acting in a fair manner. Psychic attacks, stealthy attacks, anything that you would suspect somebody would not be able to detect, Kraven can't pre-counter it. if I was able to poison the power armor, I would follow up exactly like I'm doing here. That also is capable of initiating Spider-Man Noir, because it's a follow-up. So, Spider-Man Noir is just going to rest, and Sin, who is bleeding, is going to get countered. Spider-Man Noir joins in and attacks the whole team. Because Sin is bleeding, the Devourer could have gotten in on any of this. Because I can make her poisoned, Scraptician kicks in, and that also can initiate Spider-Man Noir. He's capable of following up when Kraven follows up on himself. So we'll do it again one more time so that you can see it in action. The pneumatic nailer, again, that's another thing that nobody seemed to have wanted to combine with Spider-Man Noir, but it's phenomenal. It's such a good idea because it's a guaranteed counter. Honestly, if I was up against a Rocket Spider-Man Noir team, and I went to go use the Hailstorm on them to shut down their follow-ups, I would be in big trouble if the enemy agent had a pneumatic nailer. Because the Grace Note is a chance to do that whole pre-counter. The pneumatic nailer is guaranteed to counter. Alright, so the only thing my agent is going to do is make the entire team bleed. By the way, Kraven and Black Knight also work out very well together, as both of them really enjoy bleeds and do great things off of bleeding. So there's Kraven's pre-counter. There's Spider-Man Noir doing his job again, following up on everybody hit by the pre-counter. And Sin's attack didn't even function because it got reflected. Just like this. So Sin is trying desperately to do something, and she is, no pun intended, she's getting her team nailed for it. The pneumatic nailer counters. Again, we'll just slap on another stack of bleeds. Alright. We're just going to rest. Well, actually, Kraven will attack. So Kraven's going to do the most dangerous game. He always follows up with I am the Hunter, unless he's winded. And Spider-Man Noir joins in on it. The Devourer joins in on it. Spider-Man Noir joins in on the Devourer. And that's all she wrote, folks. So, there is a nifty application for Kraven. Obviously, people are going to consider him with bleeds and poisons, but he is also very, very good for the counter and follow-up teams because of Law of the Jungle and the follow-up on poison targets. He will initiate people like Rocket Raccoon and Spider-Man Noir. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the ideas presented here, then give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to me here on YouTube and Twitch. This way you know when I'm doing my streams. And also give a follow on Twitter, because I always announce my stuff over there too. The YouTube videos get announced there, and when I stream, it gets announced there too. Take care, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video.